So far, the Let's Ride era has been off to a roller coaster with Russell Wilson. Mixed bag through 4 weeks of play when it comes to Denver. QB1 a little banged up on the short week facing the Colts, though, but will play. The good thing is Courtland Sutton will be there, leads the team in catches, receiving yards for the first 4 weeks. Wilson's go-to option in the passing game will have their shots, though, against Indy later tonight on Thursday Night Football. Something has to give. Matt Ryan and his numbers in the offense, ice cold to start the season, sitting at 1-2-1, not good. Russ not cooking much in the kitchen. A few appetizers, no entrees yet there in Denver. One thing he has going for him, he's solid when it comes to primetime, 20-4 straight up and 16-7-1 against the spread at home. All right, join us now, Ryan Harris, the president of the Let's Ride campaign there in Denver, my good friend there. A simple question here for you. The injuries are piling up. We see that the way the AFC West is trending. Is it make or break here time for Denver?
Absolutely make or break time for the Denver Broncos. Now, the good news is Russell Wilson has been still playing at an elite level. 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, really been controlling the game. And I can tell from playing with great quarterbacks, he's trying to show the young players around him that they have to be at the right spot to help the team win and effectively and be an effective offense. You also have Courtland Sutton, who is top 10 in the NFL in receiving yards, even though he only has, I believe, 19 receptions. So there are some good things happening there for the Denver Broncos. The bad news, you got injuries on the offensive line. The star running back, Javonte Williams, is out, and you are still struggling to find a run game. They're going to have to depend on Melvin Gordon. Yes, former San Diego Charger, now Denver Bronco, who has had 4 fumbles in his last 4 games. 5 if you go all the way back to last year. 4 fumbles in his last 44 carries. He has really struggled to hang on to the football. And at this moment, what you say to Melvin Gordon, if I'm head coach Nathaniel Hackett, say, hey, Melvin, you have an opportunity to show everyone how talented you are and to change the narrative of your career forever. Anytime you're behind the 8 ball like that with performance, choose the positive, believe in the best story that creates your best life, because these Broncos are depending on Melvin Gordon to have a great game and a great rest of the season.
Both teams will be missing their star running backs. We mentioned there with Javonte Williams, Jonathan Taylor also out with an ankle injury when it comes to the Colts. But they're in a similar position here, banged up as well. 1 win on the season. We saw a little blip on the radar against the Chiefs at 1-2-1. Can they flip a switch here tonight?
I don't think they can, but for their sakes, I hope they do. Listen, the Colts are really struggling. At one point last week, Frank Reich, the head coach, said, we can't run the ball. We might have to throw it every down. Well, that's a huge issue because Matt Ryan is currently 3rd in the NFL in getting sacked with 15. They are struggling to stay consistent. I don't know what happened in that Kansas City Chiefs game, but they were unable, at one point down 24-3 in the first half to Tennessee. Fumbles, miscues, penalties. These guys are really struggling. And I feel bad for Matt Ryan because of how much he's been getting hit. He's already slowed down. I mean, he can barely get a read. And everybody's talking about, oh, Frank Reich's offense is so complicated. So complicated, your guys can't run it? A possible Hall of Famer like Matt Ryan? They have to figure things out from a coaching level, an offensive line, and offense level to keep themselves in the playoff contention in just week 5. They are fighting for the playoffs in week 5.
Ryan, real quick here. We just talked about Matt Ryan and Russell Wilson, of course. They won't have their running backs, but which offense, when it comes to passing, do you have more confidence in tonight to take over a little bit?
Well, I do love Pittman at the Colts, but I have a lot more confidence in the Denver Broncos. Even young receiver Jerry Jeudy has grown leaps and bounds with Russell Wilson. Courtland Sutton is there, as we talked about earlier. And then you still have some talented backs. And the Broncos went out and got Latavius Murray as well, who chose to be with the Broncos versus the Saints coming off of that practice squad. So I have a lot more belief in the Broncos offense. But the Colts have some weapons, too. They got 3 tight ends that together had over 175 yards receiving last week.
All right, I need your extra pick, but I think I know where you're leaning here since I called you the president of Let's Ride's campaign. But just out of curiosity, for kicks and giggles, what's your pick for tonight?
I got the Broncos in this one. Now, it's going to be lopsided either way. I like 17-14 Broncos, or I like 31-28. But Thursday Night Football, Brandon, I can tell you as a player, early in the season, it's so hard on your body. Both teams are devastated with injuries. This is going to be a knockout, drag-out affair, and you got some injuries defensively for the Broncos too. It's going to be close, but I got the Broncos edging this one out at home simply because they do not have to travel.
All right, we'll see what happens at home, as you mentioned. And, hey, Russ has been pretty good when playing in primetime at his home, as I mentioned there at the top of the segment. As always, though, you're always good at home when it's here with us on HQ. Appreciate it, my friend there, Ryan Harris. The Pick Six Pod, you can catch the guys. Guess what? The Brady Quinn Show is back again this week, along with Will Brinson. The fellas chop it up. The Tua concussion saga, Rams struggle, and who is the best 2-2 team? Is it the Broncos? Well, we'll find out. Just listen and download.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.